morning students. Today in this class we are going to discuss about a new lesson from your 8th class, that is polar regions. So actually what is meant by polar region? The place which is near to the north pole or south pole, I mean the place which is near the poles, that region is called polar regions. Let's see the figure. So if you see the figure, so if it is said to be the earth, so it is said to be equator, you know very well. Equator is going to divide the earth into two equal parts. So it is containing 0 degree. Next 23 and a half. Next 66 and a half. 23 and a half. 66 and a half. So 0 degree latitude is called equator. And this is called Tropic of Cancer. Here it is North Pole, South Pole, Tropic of Cancer. (23 and a half) south is called Tropic of Capricorn. And this is called Arctic Circle. And this is called Antarctic Circle. And if you see the place here, so above 66 it is said to be Arctic Circle and it is said to be Antarctic Circle. So this region, I mean the place which is near to the poles, North Pole and South Pole, is called polar regions. I mean this is called polar region. Polar region. So mostly if you see this one. If you see the zones, so it is equator, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, Arctic Circle, Antarctic Circle. So if you see the place which is beside the equator, or the zones which are which is beside the equator, these two zones are called tropical zones. Tropical zones. I mean you see places which are beside the equator, these zones are called tropical zones, and places which are in between Tropic of Cancer and Arctic Circle, Tropic of Capricorn and Antarctic Circle, these two zones are called temperature zones. Temperature zones. Temperature zones. And if you see this one and these two, both are called frigid zones. Frigid zones. Frigid zones. So you see once again, places which are beside the equator, these two zones are called tropical zones. Places which are in between the Tropic of Cancer and Arctic Circle, Tropic of Capricorn and Antarctic Circle, these two zones are called temperature zones. Finally, if you see the above and below, these two zones are called frigid zones. We call these frigid zones as polar regions. So very important diagram you need to remember. You see here. So mostly polar regions, places which are near the poles are called polar regions. And if you see tundra, very important for 2 marks question. Many times we got the question in examination. Actually, what is meant by tundra? The northern part of the polar region, or the places which are in the northern part of polar regions are called tundra. Places which are in, suppose if you see this, it is polar region. So whatever the places or whatever the continents are in this place, the places we are calling as tundra. So what is meant by tundra? The meaning of tundra is too cool. In Hindi we have thanda. You know very well, thanda means cool. So in English we have tundra. Tundra means too cool. Actually, what is the definition of tundra? The places or the continents which are in North Polar region or which are in South Polar region. I mean the places which are in polar regions or the places which are in frigid zones, we call those places as tundra. So what is the meaning of tundra? Too cool. So it is about tundra. And if you see vegetation, so mostly it is experiencing different climates. I will tell you. Places which are beside the equator, sun rays fall vertically on equator. If you see the places which is beside the equator, it is experiencing hot climates, too hot conditions. Too hot condition because sun rays fall vertically. When the places where the sun rays fall vertically or straightly, those places experience hot conditions. So if you see here, it is equator, sun rays are falling vertically on equator. Because of that, we experience hot conditions near equator. So here we experience hot conditions. And places which are far away from equator, if you see temperature zone on the north pole and south pole, it is little bit far away from equator. You see, it is equator. So if you go south towards south, sun rays may not fall vertically. If you go north directions, sun rays may not fall vertically. So slowly some temperature may decrease. So these two places may experience warm conditions. You see, these two places experience hot condition. These two places experience warm condition, little bit hotter. But coming to these two places, it is very far. It is very far from equator. Sun rays may not fall vertically on these two places. So because of that, sun rays get diversified here. It won't fall vertically. It may get diversified. Because of that, it is experiencing cool conditions. Because of that, it is experiencing cool condition. Once again, see, sun rays are falling vertically. Suppose if it is sun, the rays are falling vertically on equator. Because of that, it is experiencing hot conditions. And if you see here, the angle is going to increase. When the angle is going to increase on the north direction or south direction, slowly the temperature is going to decrease. But coming to frigid zones, the angle is going to increase for a maximum. So because of that, we are going to experience two cool conditions on the frigid zones. Why? Because sun rays may not fall vertically. Sun rays get diversified in the if you go far away from equator. So it is about that. And if you see, as I told you, it is experiencing cool conditions. So in Tundra, I mean the places which are in polar regions may experience a special vegetation. What is meant by vegetation? Plants of same kind grow in a region is called vegetation. So if you compare Tundra vegetation and other vegetation, both will be different because now we live in a different place and they live in a different place. So we are living near to the in between the equator and tropical zones, but they are going to live in the frigid zones. So we may experience a different vegetation and they may experience a different vegetation. Mostly here the vegetation is going to start in the month of summer. I will tell you. Here the summer season is favorable for the plants to grow in that region. We will discuss more about in the next class. I mean after some time, after so topic. You see here seasons, very important. If we compare the seasons from our place to the polar regions, it is completely different. Now we know mostly we are going to experience day and night in a single day. I mean within the 24 hours we are going to experience the day for some hours, we are going to experience the nights for other hours. But coming to polar regions, it is quite different. It is completely different. Why? You see here. So as it is far away from equator, sun rays may not fall vertically on the polar regions. So sun rays get diversified. But if you compare the seasons, it is very different and very interesting topic. You see, in the month of November, December and January, very important area. In the month of November, December and January, it is experiencing complete nights. 24 hours nights we experience in the polar regions during the month of November, December and January. Yes, because at the time it is experiencing winter season. You see, there is no sunrise, there is no sunrise or there is no sunset during the months of November, December, January. We experience complete nights for 3 months, that is November, December and January. So when we experience complete nights, entire area remains darkness, there is no sunlight, we know very well. When we get the sun, we experience some hot conditions. But if you see here, in the month of November, December, January, there is no sunlight. Entire area remains dark. So we experience which season? Winter season. For particular, may I ask you, in the month of November, December, January, what climate they experience? They experience winter season. In the month of February, March and April, see, November, December, January. After January, we get February, March, April. So these are the continuous months. Slowly the sun is about to rise. You see, 3 months complete darkness. Next 3 months, slowly, one day the sun may come for 10 minutes. Next day, 1 hour. Next day, 2 hours. Next day, 3 hours. So for 3 months, the sun is about to increase. The sunrise is going to increase day by day. Slowly, the sun may rise for 2 hours in the month of February, 4 hours in the end of February, 6 hours in the month of March, 8 hours in the end of March, next 12 hours in the month of April, 14 hours in the end of April. So slowly the sunrise is about to increase. The duration of sunrise is about to increase. In the month of May, June, July, it is experiencing complete day. 24 hours it is remaining day. I told you, as I told you before, complete nights we may experience in the month of November, December, January. So it is remaining winter season. Complete day we experience in the month of May, June and July. At that time it is experiencing summer season. So very important, when we get the summer season in polar regions in the month of May, June and July. When we experience winter season in the month of November, December and January. So you said, as I told you, complete days we experience in the month of May, June and July. So after this again, after July, August, September, October. Again in the 3 months, slowly the sun is about to set. Slowly the sun is about to set. And again after in the month of November, December, January, complete nights we experience. So it's a cyclic process. You see, if you see here, January, February, November, December, January. 3 months it is experiencing winter, complete nights. February, March, April. 3 months it is experiencing complete, 3 months slowly the sun is about to rise. Next, May, June, July. Complete day we experience here. So it is remaining summer season. Again August, September, October. So slowly the sun is about to set. November, December, January, winter, complete nights. February, March, April, slowly the sun is about to rise. March, May, June, July, summer season, complete days. Again August, September, October, slowly the sun is about to set. Again it is cyclic process. Again November, December, January, winter. So it is a continuous process. So it is about the seasons of polar regions. And if you see summer, so here in summer we experience too hot conditions, and we experience too hot conditions. Because of that we experience all the trees get dry. But if you see the polar regions, here in the summer season we notice birds, we notice animals, we notice fruits and we notice flowers. Why? Because here the summer is not too hot and not too hot. In the summer season it is not experiencing too hot conditions. Actually even in the summer it remains cool. But slowly we notice sun. Because of the sun we experience a little hot conditions. At the time ice is about to melt. When the ice is about to melt, whatever the place which is covered with the snow, it is going to melt. When the ice is going to melt, slowly plants start germinating, and we notice birds, we notice flowers, we notice fruits. Next, permafrost. So you know very well, it is a polar region. So it is experiencing too cool conditions. So mostly in the winter season or in any other season, because of the continuous snowfall, because of the continuous snowfall or because of too cool conditions. Suppose if you see the land or if you see the soil, because of the continuous snowfall, the upper layer of the soil is becoming rock-like structure. You see, actually it is a land, it is a soil, upper layer of the soil. So because of the too cool conditions or because of the continuous snowfall, the uppermost part of the soil or the topmost layer of the soil is becoming rock-like structure. It is hard-like structure, or it is too hard. So this is called permafrost. Very important for tomorrow's question. What is meant by permafrost? Because of the continuous snowfall or because of too cool conditions, the upper layer of the soil in the polar regions, it is becoming rock-like structure. So what we call it as? We call it as permafrost. Very important. Next, the people of the polar regions. So we are going to discuss about the North Polar region. So a special kind of people are living in this North Polar region. Who are they? Eskimos. Very important. A specific group of persons are living in this polar region, North Polar region. Or we are going to discuss about a group, a specific group in this lesson who belongs to North Polar region. They are called Eskimos. What we call them as? Eskimos. Where we notice this Eskimos? Where we find or where we notice these Eskimos? We notice Eskimos in Greenland, biggest island in the world, Canada, Alaska and Siberia. So these are the four places where we notice the Eskimos. Once again, you see, in this class or in this lesson we are going to discuss about a specific persons who are living in North Polar region. Who are the Eskimos? Actually, where we notice this Eskimos or this group of people? We notice in Greenland, Canada, Alaska and Siberia. One more thing. Actually, now we notice them in Greenland, Canada, Alaska and Siberia. Once upon a time, firstly they migrated from Siberia. So firstly we notice them in Siberia. Later they went for migrating from one place to other place. They traveled in different directions. They reached Greenland, Canada, Alaska. Now we notice the settlements of Eskimos in Greenland, Canada, Alaska and Siberia. But they are the descendants from Siberia. Where is Siberia? It is in the northern part of, it is a part of Russia. Mostly it belongs to northern Asia. It is in the northern Asia, a part of Russia. What is that? Siberia. Eskimos are the descendants of Siberia. Siberia is a place in the upper part of Russia, and mostly it is in the northern part of Asia. So Eskimos, again Eskimos are classified in two types. Now how we have the caste and how we have the religion, in the same way these Eskimos are classified in two groups. Very, very important. First group, Inuit. Second group, Yupik. Very, very important. Eskimos are classified in two groups. First one, Inuit. Second one, Yupik. So what is the meaning of Inuit? The meaning of Inuit in Eskimo language is the people or the real people. So very important. You may get for one mark or you may get for part B question. So what is the meaning of Inuit? The meaning of Inuit in Eskimo language is the people or the real people. So one more thing. Eskimos. So what is the meaning of Eskimos? The actual meaning of Eskimos in Eskimo language is snowshoe netter. Very, very important. So what is the meaning of Eskimos? The meaning of Eskimos is snowshoe netter. Next, how many languages they speak? How many languages Eskimos speak? They speak three languages. First one Aleut, second one Yupik, third one Inupik. Very, very important. You see, first one Aleut, second one Yupik, third one Inupik. So you see, we have two groups, Inuit, Yupik. We have three languages, Aleut, Yupik, Inupik. So here, Yupik group speak Yupik language. Yupik is a language and Yupik is also a group. So easy to remember. Yupik group person speak which language? Yupik languages. Yupik language. So these are the three languages. Those are Aleuids, Yupik and Inupik. So Yupik group person speak Yupik language. What is the meaning of Inuits? The people are the real people. What is the meaning of Eskimos? Snowshoe netter. Next, these languages are said to be oral languages which we use for communication, but we don't have any script for it. We don't have any written format. Eskimo languages are oral languages. We are using these languages only to communicate. It is not. We don't have any script, so we don't have any letters to write to define the specific languages of Eskimos. So we will discuss about the remaining topic in the next class. So once again you remind this. Polar regions. Places which are near to the poles are called polar region. So mostly these are said to be poles, North Pole and South Pole. So remember the zones: frigid temperature, tropical zones, temperature frigid. Tundra. The places which are in North Polar region are called tundra. What is the meaning of tundra? Too cool. It is containing specific vegetation. Seasons: 4. November, December, January. We experience complete nights. Winter season. February, March, April. Slowly the sun rises. May, June, July. Complete days. Summer season. August, September, October. Slowly sun sets. Mostly in the summer we notice plants are about to germinate. We notice birds. We notice animals. We notice fruits and flowers. Permafrost. Because of the continuous snowfall or because of the too cool conditions, the upper layer of the soil becomes rock-like structure. What we call it as permafrost. And the people who are living in North Polar region, they are Eskimos. We are going to discuss about a specific people who are the Eskimos. Actually, we notice Eskimos in Greenland, Canada, Alaska, and Siberia, but they are the descendants, or they moved from. Once upon a time, they used to be in Siberia. Later they will keep moving and they reach Greenland, Canada, Alaska. Next, how many groups they have? 2. Inuits, Yupik. What is the meaning of Inuits? The people are the real people. How many languages they have? 3. Aleuids, Yupik, Inupik. Yupik group speak Yupik language. Next, what is the meaning of Eskimos? Snowshoe netter. These 3 languages are oral languages. We don't have any script or we don't have any written formats. Thank you, students. We will discuss more about the class in the next class. Thank you.